agree with you in terms of getting rid of that Azami. That is definitely a player that you don't want to deal with, unless, like, of course, like we always like to talk about, if the other team thinks that they can hold it better. I mean, maybe they're more proficient in that operator in general, that maybe they want to leave that open for themselves, then by all means, leave that Azami up and see if how you fare against attacking it and also defending it as well. But we get to see our very first ban coming out as they remove that Flores. Now, it's good getting rid of that Flores. That'll definitely help you in terms of keeping up those deployable shields, those keeper barriers, if you choose to leave that up as well. Getting rid of that Nox for potential those lurks that you got to talk about just a little bit earlier, KJ, about how in this meta, the current state that it's in, lurking is a strong thing and not just being that better for it.
Yeah, and taking that off the board is going to be massive. But once again, Thatcher is available, so those breaches can be opened a little bit easier. But first, Defender ban is going to come out. Altered Edge is going to ban out that Azami, so no keeper barriers are going to go up there. And obviously having the Flores off the board as well, banning the Azami is probably the smart decision, especially if you're going to be starting out on that attack. But last Defender ban going to be coming in, and Arena is going to be banning that one. So much to choose from, though, and it is going to be that Solus. So I think Solus is probably just a really, really good ban at the moment. She just brings so much util and intel for the team. You're able to spot out all those drones, where those people are droning from, where the plant's going down, where they have those claymores, where they have those air jabs, whatever you'd like. You know, you just have that information to you. So taking that off the board for the defense is going to make it that little bit easier for the attack, especially taking off those pre-placed drones. But round one, we're going to that bar gaming.
I mean, definitely on a map like Chalet, where especially that upstairs, that library as well, you want to be able to have those pre-placed drones so you could potentially do some frag grenades from below, you know, things like that. So having that Solus up, it makes it harder. She's definitely going to find those pre-placed drones that you've found, you know, left on these pillars and high ceilings in bushes and things like that. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you to potentially get those grenade kills. But as you said, we're going to head into this bar defense first. Now, thankfully, you've got the mirror up, and that's going to be left available for you as well. That'll definitely make it a lot easier for you holding down into this bar stock area. It'll clear up some space from anyone potentially trying to play too aggressive, jumping into that double window. We are going to do a full extension. We go upstairs, which is definitely where you need to hold, right? I mean, you've got the Frost that's definitely going to help with some of those jump-ins, but you need to hold that vertical play if you have any hopes in winning out this round.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the Flores being off the board, it's going to be harder to clear that shield top blue, and they have another shield probably in that mez as well, so they're going to have to utilize those nades and those flashes to clear that util. But luckily, they are bringing that Zephyr, so you're able to utilize that lifeline launcher and sort of chuck util at those ADSs. But they do have that Wamai, though, that we like to see. But Zephy, he's going to open up the round, and that's Rico off the board. That's your Zephyr that I was just talking about. So no lifeline's going to come out there, and that's going to make it that little bit harder. But they do still have 6 flashes in the hands of Owen and River, so not all is lost.
It looks like they are doing the common take at the moment to try and take that office control and get control of Piano before you essentially try to take an engagement with this player who is top blue, which I do believe is the Wamai. Having the added 1.5 is definitely going to make it a lot easier for you to try to find those angles now. Malachi, though, is going to find the kill onto Kongi and remove him from play. That's your Jaeger as well. You've got control of the library, so Kingmang Malachi is trying to get control of this blue. He's going to be forced to fall off as well, accompanied by the drone, so you're going to be able to have this top floor control with no contest and away. No one to be punished just as yet.
I think that was a really, really good play from Malachi there. Able to get that top floor control so easily and so quickly. He did take a little bit of damage, but for the most part, he still is in this. He's got about that 60, 70 HP, and he's able to do some damage with this Verd as they got the Buck and the Sledge. C4 to go out, though. Zuve detonate it.
Blow it.
No, blow it, blow it.
He's just being a bit wary of those, but kills are already going out across the round, not by just Owen, but Kulu is going to find his kill as well. He was traded out back by Owen. River trying to get a little bit of the vertical plays. He does manage to see a little bit of the head, but unable to connect the shots just of yet, though, as you've got about a minute 5 left in a 2v3 situation now. Zuve and Dynasty left to pull it out for the rest of his team. Now, they've got the angles, got time to work with as well. They're trying to get the info on them at the moment. You can see Malachi droning out Zue behind the bar, and they are aware of his position now as they try to rotate to get some more vertical holes under play. Now, River to utilize those flashes as well to create some space, but the smokes are going to make it hard to drop. He's got the comfortability of playing behind that mirror as well. The shots are going to be given out, though. Zuve's going to find a kill to connect onto Owen, leaving it up to an even 2-2 now, with only 31 seconds left. Zuve's fallen off to that kitchen short as well. He's going to play comfortable off-site, just waiting for River to potentially drop and try to take control of this fireplace as he makes his way down those main stairs as well. He's able to find the shot, but River's going to win it first, and then it's down to a 1v2 now as Dynasty is left in a really rough position with only 14 seconds left of the clock. He hasn't got many angles to work with as he is pinched inside of this bar stock now. He's going to utilize the smoke. He's going to get caught on the wall. Unfortunately, though, the second one will connect. Easily done, though, with 3 seconds left. The kit will go down successfully. Now you manage to find the very first kill. And this is the round that you want to be. This is the position as well. You do manage to find him. Don't look like you know, but you hear him running up those blue stairs. He's just going to play that. But Dynasty's going to connect a headshot while he's running away up those stairs. And he'll pull it for his team altogether. Finding 2 in the round.
Yeah, Density, he was able to find that post-plant positions of Altered Edge and shut it down. And Arena being those underdogs, that's how you want to kick things off here on round 1 and on Chalet. And wow, Arena, that was a close round. You know, even though Altered Edge, they got that top floor control so quickly, they were able to sort of work it back. Arena, they found those picks where it was necessary, and it was all left to Density, though. That 1v2, that round's on him. His team better be hyping him up in that voice chat right now.
I mean, yeah, he pulled it together for his team, that's for sure. I mean, on an operator like Smoke, you got to be happy about that. I mean, thankfully you had those smoke canisters to your ability as well to help you clear up some of that space. Otherwise, it would have been a completely different round altogether. But the communication by Zuve and Density altogether, just in that late rounds, was just so perfect, and they played it so well. But now, we will head to our kitchen dining site. Now it's about tertiary site, KJ, a second one. And then going to the comfortable sites of potentially being upstairs or downstairs in basement. Now, I like it, though. I think this is quite a comfortable site to play.
Yeah, but we are seeing the Tachanka, although he is struggling to put that shield, it is a bit of more of a difficult one. Tachanka, recently, getting that 2 times that you like to see on that gun, so very, very deadly at long ranges, and that gun essentially has no recoil, so I think that change is definitely going to make Tachanka more viable, but he's still struggling to get that shield on, and I think at that point I would have given up, but he's still confident that he can get it.
I mean, it might be the pinnacle of the round. You never know. I mean, it definitely looks like he can't fight it. There we go. Let's go, Zephy. He manages to get it in the end. So, I mean, hopefully that stays up long enough for you to be able to utilize that late into the round. No, but you can see that Altered Edge already making their play. They've decided to take that library first, and a little bit of a split towards office as well, as you can see that Block trying to get control of Mez with the rest of his team as well. And there's nobody up here to really contest other than the one player who is found up in bathroom. I do believe that might be Kongi as well. Some of those can openers going to open up a little bit of these angles to help you gain control. There's Kilo up there.
I think that Altered Edge, they're making quick work.
And they definitely don't want to give too much time up. They have got a deployable shield up here, so they always had it in there and tend to hold it as well, accompanied by some of those Azami barriers as well. I mean, not Azami barriers, sorry, Aruni barriers. King Mao. I mean, what shot, man.
That was a nasty shot, especially onto Kongi having that DMR. He has that 1.5 as well, but Sledge being the better of that engagement. And I think they've got some really good intel, some really good pre-placed drones on the side of Altered Edge. We did see one early in sight in those bushes. So that's going to be very, very useful, especially on that execute. Or if you go for that vert, you're going to be able to feed those pings. We just saw it then. Unfortunately for Arena, they still haven't taken out that cam, so they're unaware of these drone positions, but they're sort of just waiting it out. They have 2 players in that site. Zuve on the lurk, ready to try and flank up these dungeon stairs here. And I do believe there's still one above in that solar. So Kilo, he's utilizing this 1.5 on Wamai, and if he can shut down one player up here, can make it that little bit closer as we approach that minimum mark.
I mean, Zuve's still on the lurk as well. It might have looked like Hugaloo was ready to fall off as well to try and help fight this potential trophy jump in as well that Zethi needs to be a little bit careful of. You can see the Tachanka, thankfully having that, you've got all the ammo to work with as well to help them stop their execute now. There's only 39 seconds left to do so, and they have to get their execute underway. They did manage to open up that main breach as well. You're trying to funnel your way through now. They're doing well in stopping them from getting too much control. Zuve finds one on the flank, and that's good to pick from him as well, being able to utilize, get rid of that Ayana. No more grenades to be used, and a nice little angle as well. Thankfully, you've got that shield that you set up earlier to secure yourself a down onto Owen. Now you're going to have to utilize some of those Tachankas. Maybe you can find a kill off that as well. Barbecue him to death.
Yeah, and they're pushing in. They're taking the damage to the fire. River falls, and Zuve's able to clean up 3, but Mal, he's there to finish off Kulo, but it's not enough as they're not able to secure that plant down and the time runs out. And even though Altered Edge, they found that opening pick, Arena able to hold it down. I think that Tachanka, they're going big with those flames, and that's something that that we were mentioning. You know, adding that 2 times, not only does he bring that good gun, but you know, his utility for quite a while now has been good, but unfortunately, you know, you just didn't have access to those sites, but he has access to that 1.5 and the 2 times now. So we might see a little bit more play from him. And I think that was definitely a good example of that. So Arena 2-0 up. They're going to move to that master bedroom office. So they're not touching that garage. They're going to go upstairs. Can they continue to sort of surprise Altered Edge, I'd like to say, with the way that they're holding these sites? Or is Altered Edge going to find some footing and shut this down?
I mean, I really liked to see that. I love the change already from Tachanka, like you mentioned last round, that 2.0 score, even a 1.5 was added as well. But he's essentially what we like to see, which is a Goyo, right? He's essentially a portable Goyo. Now, his burns might not last as long as the 20 seconds that Goyo has to give us, but he's got that much ammo that it essentially does the exact same thing. But obviously, you have to stay alive if you wanted to have that effect on the team. But he used it so beautifully that it stopped them from being able to plant behind that chassis. So they secure themselves another round and upping against Altered Edge. Arena looking to get their 3rd as they move upstairs. This time they're bringing the Goyo. You can see Zuve on the Caveira as well, and that's not something you see quite often. He's already popped himself downstairs, so hopefully the drones aren't aware of his position.
Yeah, I think he's positioning these last 2 rounds. Obviously, the first round, he was able to sort of put himself in that short bar hall, and he was able to find some picks there. And then in that last round, he was able to flank up those dungeon stairs and find a pick. So maybe just playing an operator sort of, you know, allows you to lurk a little bit easier on that defense is definitely going to help with that. But if you can find an Entero, that would be very beautiful to see. But these pings from the drones coming out onto this Wamai, but he does have those discs, so he is comfortable in terms of any nades. He's not going to be naded just yet, but if they start to clear it, he could be cleared out. But I'd imagine that Altered Edge are going to do so shortly, but they're going to do it quick as his discs do recharge over time, and he's able to place more and more, and the more time that you waste, the harder it will be to clear. But they're taking below, and they might try and even nade him from below if they know his position.
I did see a player earlier that was playing down here. I do believe he's peeled off. No, he managed just to stay here. And an interrogation from Zuve with no contestation just as yet is going to reveal all of the players from Altered Edge at the moment. They have to run for their lives if they want to be able to utilize it. Zuve looking to get another Interro as well. No. He has to be a little bit careful of the drone hole, but he's able to find it as of yet. Now Rico trying to get to the window as fast as he can, but his position is going to be revealed and he's going to be forced to run away as yet as Kongi jumps out of the double window onto Library to find himself yet another kill. And a quick C4 onto River is going to remove him from play and leave it all up to King Malachi. He's left alone in a 1v5, and there's not much he can do with his position revealed. Everybody knows where he is, and everyone just wants to get killed. They're hungry, they are starving, and you've got a minute to work with, no control at all.
Yeah, and they want to get this kill so it can be a flawless round for them, and we're going to give it to Zuve that round. I think those interrogations, that allowed his other teammates to get those kills by having all that intel, but oh, bit of a BM coming out from Zuve to bit of a love tap, but is he going to get smoked? For the most part, it looks like Arena's having fun. They're having fun.
They're gonna be happy, especially after that round, finding not one interrogation, but two, and just revealing, it was just a complete jungle of kills. I mean, everybody just running around, throwing C4s out of windows, doing runouts that you never would have done without that sort of intel that Kavira provides. So it's going to leave it in a really rough position for Altered Edge, and they're just going to utilize this time that they have left to talk to their team instead of going to a timeout. Now, that's exactly what this kind of position is useful for, just wasting as much time as you can so that you can sort of reset your mental before going into the next round without essentially using up your tactical timeout.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, you know, on the flip side, Altered Edge, you know, Arena are having fun, but Altered Edge after that round, if you weren't having fun already, that one would definitely be a real kick in the gut. And we see here they're taking that timeout. So I think that's a good call. That's a good call from them. They need a reset, like you said. They need to sort of find that positive, any sort of positive energy right now, because 3-0 up, especially to that sort of play style, you can't be letting that happen. Whoever's on those flanks, whoever's droning in those players that are entering sort of by themselves, they need to be aware of these positions of the side of Arena, and especially if there's a cab in play, you can't be allowing interrogations, not just one, but two to happen. Need to be playing off each other a little bit more and having that teamwork in place to not allow that to happen. At least have a trade and not have that interrogation happen. But round 4, they've had that break, not only from the round and Malachi sort of just playing it safe to allow his team to talk, but they've also had that timeout. That should be plenty of time to gather yourself together and be clean-minded for this next round. And, you know, we still have 3 rounds to come in this first half. You still have a chance to even up things and have a good first half. But I'd imagine that Arena, playing off that last round, they'd be feeling, but they need to not get comfortable. We've seen things flip completely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can definitely feel the energy from Arena at the moment, specifically on the side of Zuve. I mean, it's not common that you will find yourselves getting 2 interrogations in a level of gameplay that is at the current that you're playing at. So you can imagine how hyped he was. You can imagine how hyped his team, the morale, I mean, the ego boost that it gives you is just insane. But the last thing you want to do is let that get to your head. We've seen teams time and time again just get too ahead of themselves, and they just throw away kills and throw away rounds that weren't needed in the first place. So hopefully they don't let that get to their heads too much and let Altered Edge potentially get a few rounds in their favor before we switch to that half. But the Altered Edge aren't looking too good at the moment. I mean, 3-0. They need to make a comeback. Hopefully that tactical time was enough to do so.
And Malachi, he's the only one above 1 kill for that team as well. So hopefully this round they can find some more kills of their own and even secure a round win. But it seems like Zuve, we didn't see him sort of have too much of an impact last week in the games. But today, he's here. He's making noise. And that's what we want to see.
Oh, he's definitely looking to make a comeback now, and we can see a more of a traditional push coming out from Altered Edge. They've got a little bit of a split between Library as well. A nice little shot, little tippy tap there to Zethi, thanks to the long angle. That'll do a little bit of HP, but not enough to do any serious damage as of yet. They have opened up all the angles, so you just have to be a little bit careful of that, not only for the attacking side, but the defender side as well. Hopefully, they don't. Hopefully they got some of those Womai discs, right? I mean, you're set up nicely for those grenades. If you can manage to get a kill onto Mez, it'll be the game changer.
It would be the game changer, but you can see that they're running density. He's running that smoke, that Tachanka instead of that smoke this time. But Malachi, he's able to shut down that Warden of Kongi. And once again, Kongi, the first to fall on this bar games. We did see Arena win it out last time. Kulo able to bring that pick back and shut down Rico. And he's having a rough one right now. You know, playing that Ash, playing the entry, not able to find any kills as of yet. But River, he's finding kills of his own. He's able to shut down Zuve. So that's your top frag for Arena, down for the count. Altered Edge also having that man advantage, so... Definitely a good position.
And that's a position you want to be in at the moment. Definitely for sure. But I'm getting a little bit of deja vu because this is exactly what happened last time. They got control of that library super fast. They got control of the blue stairs, etc. And then when it came down to the execute and the collapse onto site, we got to see Arena just completely take advantage of that. And they ended up winning in the end. But it's looking completely different. A new story to be wrote at the moment. As Voon is able to find his kills, Zethy is going to get traded back. I mean, Zethy is going to find a kill on the trade back as well as Owen manages to not let it slip too far as he manages to find a kill onto Zethy. Density with a nice shot as well to try and clear things up to a 1v2 now. Still got a little bit of work left to do though as the players are outside into the fireplace. Need to be a little bit careful as the drones come through. They're both set up onto the first floor, trying to take control of this fireplace. They're being a little bit wary. That 2x scope definitely adds a lot of pressure. Thankfully, like we saw, you've got that util to work with. Careful of your head, Density. River is able to find it thanks to the holes provided.
Yeah, unfortunately to Chanka, he is a larger character in the game. He has a fat head.
So much nose. Don't be rude like that, man. Leave him alone.
Yeah, he's still cuddly, warm and cuddly, but
He's a thick boy.
He's a thick boy, but unfortunately a bit too thick, and his head was spotted out. But once again, it was all left to Density. Although it was a 1v3 that time, and he did turn it into that 1v2. I think Arena, they're relying on Density with, you know, that smoke or that Tachanka a little bit too much. They can't allow that to happen. And Altered Edge, they find their first round, so maybe that break did something for them. They definitely looked a lot better on that attack that time. They were able to shut down those roamers a hell of a lot easier, and they looked more confident entering the building as well.
Well, we are going to move to the kitchen dining now, and I mean, I do like that Altered Edge are coming back, and that's the best thing that you can hope for is when you go to your split. A 4-2 split is the best that you can hope for. Maybe you can take it even further and do a 3-3 to even things up. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, right? Taking it to a 3-3. You can't ask for more, right?
No. 3-3 and it's a new game. Second half, it's
square one.
It's anybody's game. You're back to that pretty much 0-0, and 5 seconds left before insertion. That's where the action happens, isn't that second half? Because the switch, it can make or break teams. I feel like sometimes that switch up, it really shows a team's capability, not only just the defense but the attack as well. We've seen some games where it was a 5-1 split, and then all of a sudden we're in overtime. So you can never count a team out. So Altered Edge, they're still in this. You know, there's still only 2 rounds that are separating them. That's not a hell of a lot of a difference. But can they make that separation that little bit closer as they push on to that kitchen site? But they're droning out this player, Pulo, and he's got a prone to get rid of those bullets flying into his head. But luckily, he escapes with his life.
He's been watching Matrix recently. He's able to duck under those, but look at the positioning already taking control of Library, which we've seen Altered Edge are very fast at doing. They waste no time in terms of getting this vertical control. You can see the ace is already being opened up into the office and Voon to open up the head onto Zube. Now that was a very good kill to start us off with. He has that super huge roam potential that he's pulled in the past. You're not going to have to worry about that this round as well. And you've got only one player who's left upstairs, accompanied by Kulu as well, to try and hold this bathroom, to try and slow down the push from getting this vertical, because Altered Edge are just making such a good segue for their time at the moment.
Yeah, and this time, I don't believe that they had 2 hard breaches last time they pushed this side, but this time they have the Thermite and the Ace. So they're able to open up anything. If one was to fall, the other can help out, but those Midas are going to come into play and stop Voon from nading, but he's going to push into the closet. He's actually going to find the worst of that engagement as Kulo shuts down him, and Zethy able to shut down Owen. So that's your Ace and your Yana off the board. You still have the nades from Malachi, and it's still a close round. 4v3 though for Arena, and the time is ticking. We're about to approach that last minute mark of the round, so they need to start deciding whether they want to go for more vert control or if they want to start pushing onto that side. But they're going to be aware of that flank potential as well.
I mean, they've fallen off. They've decided to give that top floor control. Now, I don't know if that's the best play. Riku is able to capitalize on Kulu as well. Immediately get fragged out as Kongi is able to get there on the return. But they do have that vertical play now. Not only that, but it is the Sledge who remains up there as well. Now, that leaves your Tachanka Zethi, who was such a staple in the very last defense that you did on Kitchen, on to stopping from getting that chassis diffused down. Now, having that Sledge up there is definitely going to make it a lot harder for him to stay nice and cozy behind that shield. As you can see, he's opening up those vertical plays at the moment. He's going to go for a little bit of a rotate. He has got the diffuser in his hand and he is alone. So that's definitely a dangerous position to be in with only 13 seconds left to do so. Nice little shotgun players through the vertical holes. He almost finds two, but look at Dynasty. It's the player of the game at the moment.
Yeah, he was able to trade it there just, but if that worked, if he was able to find that second pick, that could have been dangerous for Arena. But they're looking really comfortable, and for the underdogs, Elijah, they're looking quite good. 4-1 at the moment. If they can secure that 5-1 going to this bar gaming site, that will put them in a very, very good position going onto that attack. It only leaves one round for them to win on that attack to secure that match point. So I think if they win this here, that is a very, very good position for them, and I think that might result in the game being in their favor and maybe even taking the dub here. But Altered Edge, they could have a response.
I mean, yeah, like we said before going into the game, Arena did have that comfortability of starting out on that defense first, which on a map like Chalet is super strong. It is a very defender-sided map. I like to think so myself, at least. So Altered Edge going to the switch eventually, that might change things up completely. We've seen it happen before, especially on Chalet, where the switch can completely change it up altogether. So I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see what Altered Edge's defense is like as they move to potentially the very last attack side.
Yeah, and it looks like they're running some global utility. I think with the amount of players that are playing off the side and sort of roaming or extending and going for those swings, having that Dokkaebi is definitely going to help with that. And if you're able to find a pick as well, you're able to hack into those cams, and they do have a Valkyrie up, so that would definitely be useful to spot out those positions of those cameras as well. But you do have the IQ who can also do the same. So I think I like this this lineup coming in from Altered Edge.
I mean, they've definitely got everything that they need in terms of making this execute, so we'll just see how that turns out for them as they've got yet another split put. You can see Voon, he's making his way towards that Mez Balk as well, as majority of the players have stacked themselves up on top of this library Balk. Gotta get some drones in to make sure that there are no potential hazards. I'm trying to get control of this now. As you can imagine that your very first thing on your bucket list is to clear out these Mez players, sort of open up those angles so you could get your way underway. And I'm surprised that they haven't tried to take that piano side just of yet. I can imagine that's what they have to do next, because that definitely opens up a lot of opportunities for both attacking this blue stairs player, but also the Mez player as well.
Yeah, and Voon, he's getting rather close to this K9. Is he just going to jump right in? Kongi, he's going to be the first to fall. And Malachi, able to shut down Hin, and they're in.
No,
They've got this top floor. Once again, Altered Edge on this bar gaming defense. They love just jumping in and taking this control on Arena. They're just going to give that up once again. It worked in round one for them. They were able to clutch things up, but that second time that they run this site, it didn't work out for them. So they got to be careful with that.
I mean, Altered Edge, time and time again, when it comes to that library and that Mez, they don't waste any time regaining control of that. So, well done to them, time and time again. So, if you're Arena, you definitely got to slow them down just a little bit. You've been unsuccessful over and over again, but look at that. They managed to find the kill in the end, thankfully bringing that global utility that Dokkaebi provides. You're able to hack the cameras that are on the defense side, so all those defaults, potential bulletproof cams as well. Zuve with an IC4 will be able to clear him up, so you won't be able to call them up, reveal those locations of the potential lurkers that we've seen Arena pull time and time again. Now, you've only got 59 seconds left. Look at how much time you've burnt already. Try to get a little bit of those roam players. Malachi is too aware now, but a nice shot from Kulu is going to clean up Rico as he manages to rotate down into that dining room area. Now, that's a really good position to play in, especially if you are unaware of it.
Yeah, if they choose to push that main lobby, you know, Arena, they're going to have that crossfire from that bar, as well as there's one in mud. I do believe Density is in that mud room, so that'll be an interesting position for him to play in if they choose to execute down that long haul and Kulo's able to back him up there. But it looks like they are pushing to lobby, but they might just push straight into side as Malachi. He's able to shut down Zuve, and that's the only person on side, but Malachi, he's going to jump in. Oh, jump back out, actually. But Voon, he's taking these engagements, trying to shut down the push coming in from Arena. But he has no ammo left. He's only got a pistol, but a pistol will do as he takes down Kulo. But Density to find the trade, and now he's going to retake. There is one above and one outside the window. So a lot of work to be done and puts him in a rather tricky situation. But can he make it work?
I mean, it's completely doable as well. You just have to be a little bit careful on how you choose to isolate each gunfight at a time. Now, he's got the diffuser. He knows exactly where it is. A quick jump in as well, and a grenade is going to make his life hard as well. But River's going to find the head in the end, and Altered Edge will claim themselves a 4-2 split.
That's what we wanted from Altered Edge. You know, we said that that round will definitely be the changer, I'd like to say, and it leaves them a little bit more wiggle room going onto this defense. Arena being on that attack now. So Altered Edge, you say it's a defender side of the map, Elijah. Let's see if that reigns true for Altered Edge, and if they can find their own momentum on the defense, and maybe Arena struggle with the attack. Maybe their loose, sort of fraggy playstyle doesn't play into their attacks really well, and they're really not so structured. And it doesn't work out for them, and maybe Altered Edge, they know how to hold it down better, and it's anybody's game, though. Only 2 rounds separate these two teams, and I think Altered Edge, they've found their footing now.
Oh, we get to see it as we go downstairs for the very, very first time of the map. We haven't seen a basement yet, so we get to see how Altered Edge fare in terms of their basement defense up against Arena Esports. Now, Arena, they defended really nicely on the upstairs sites, you know, bar, gaming, kitchen, top floor as well, into offices, but we haven't seen them defend the basement. Now, that could be that they don't like that site at all. So maybe picking this basement site could be the play. They might not be too good at attacking it. They might not, just as they're as good as defending it.
This is true, but we are seeing, I was worried for a little second that they weren't going to utilize that Thatcher that is available, but Zuve, he is going to switch onto that, and I like this lineup coming in from Arena. They got the Thermite, they got the Ace, so if one of them was to fall, or if, you know, they get tricked from that Cade, they do have that backup of the other, but it looks like Kulo is going to go Library. Maybe they're trying to get some vert control before they go for those breaches.
It definitely could be a possibility. I mean, trying to catch some of these roamers off guard as well might be a little bit of the play there as well. It doesn't look like they have many roamers though. Have to be a little bit careful of their positions, so gonna have to get some of those drones in. You can see Cade already setting up some of those Clade cores as well. Getting some of those pre-placed drones in definitely going to help you in the long run as you manage to spot out some of those deployable shields that are accompanied behind the walls as you get a flank cam up as well. Ooh, look at the rooms. Kulo.
That's really good info for Arena. And Kulo able to open up that round and shut down River, but Kulo, he's going big. Double for him and shutting down Malachi. 2 early frags, but the response from Voon, but Zethi's there to trade, and Arena just playing off each other so well. The trades.
I'm impressed by the way that they're playing around each other at the moment. They're not making sure that anybody's isolated. If one person falls, you're immediately responded to try and collect that kill back. And yeah, you found yourself down to a 4-2 now as well. Swing in the way of Arena for the moment. So, I mean, their attack is just so good at the moment. You've got one of the players up and dining. The other player is isolated down at the side. So if you are Owen, you want to try and do support Rico. He's left alone. The kit's going down. You can't stop it.
Oh, they can.
Maybe not.
Owen is going to be the one doing that, and now they're forced to reposition, try and plan again. But Owen with the shot of a lifetime on that SMG, and Zephy able to finally shut him down. But Owen has definitely made this a little bit more winnable for Rico here. He's done his work. Rico, it's time to show us what you've got. As Density, he pushes in on this bookshelf. You do have a C4. You can C4 that and stop that plan from going down, but he's going to choose to keep it in hand for now and save it, but he's going to throw it now, and C4 to go out, do some damage, but nothing to connect, and Zethy has the angle on the snowmobile and able to shut him down.
That was a close one. You know, I'll give them that. You know, it looked like it was completely unimpossible. What was a 2v4? They got it down to a 2-2, and then there was a 2-1, and it was doable. It was completely doable, but obviously they played it so well, Arena Esports, not letting them slip up at all, and they'll take themselves to a 5-2. Altered Edge, though, I mean, that's not bad for a first-round defense.
Definitely not bad at all. Owen was feeling himself just then, but unfortunately he fell to Zethi on that Zephyr, just able to refrag. So once again, you know, they did have that man advantage, so it was a little bit easier to work off of those trades. But Arena, they're just... I feel like on the attack, they're playing a little bit more off each other than we saw Altered Edge do. So I think if they continue to do that, this could definitely be their game, but still more work to do. They're still 1 round away from that match point. Altered Edge, I'm sure, want to not let any further rounds be won, and they want to get this game that little bit closer and deny Arena from securing any sort of 3 points. And they want to secure 3 points of their own.
10 seconds left.
I like this extension. This is nice. And they got a lot of players downstairs as well. That I imagine they want to try and hold the library against the attack of Altered Edge. I mean, Arena Esports. Now, I'm wondering if they can take it as fast as Altered Edge were. Looks like they go for a solo take, though. I mean, look at the Capitaire. We haven't seen a Capitaire in just a little while. Looks like they're setting up for that solo. You've got the Buck as well. Already rappelling up onto these solar stairs to try and get those angles. You're able to read that the hatch is open, so you know that there is somebody in trophy. That information is going to be relayed immediately to the rest of the team. Hopefully they are able to capitalize on that, as Buck is already taking that big garage as well, as the drones go through the basement hallway into Wine Cellar to make sure that he is nice and secure to potentially walk up these west main stairs. Now he is supported nicely by Kulu as well. Another heavy fragger on the side of Arena for the moment.
Rico, he's getting droned out here, so he's got to be careful. There is one on this trophy window, but he's positioned himself in a little bit of an off angle. So if he's able to find this head here, that would be deadly. But Capitao, we don't see a lot of him anymore as they change that extended barrel that little bit. But I liking that play from Zube, able to bring flames of his own, but they're both used now. And nothing really to come of it. But Rico finally able to find the head there, but not one, but two. And that's Zethi and Density down for the count. So this is what we want from Altered Edge. But Rico able to find another kill. It was a trade, but he was able to shut down 3. All left to Zuve in a 1v4. And Rico, he's woken up.
I mean, this is not the position that you want to be in at all. Zube's got a lot of work to do if he hopes on just potentially doing this clutch. You've got a minute work with. I mean, at the moment, you just have to sit back. Maybe prop up your stats a little bit. That's all you can do.
Yeah, sort of talk to the team, work out what went wrong and what you can do to secure this match point going into round 9. Unless Zuve can make something work. But I'd imagine Altered Edge, I don't think they have the thrower in them. But you never know. It's anybody's game. There's still 1 minute. But I definitely think that Altered Edge wouldn't throw this one.
I mean, yeah, they need all the rounds that they can get at the moment. So, like what we saw for Altered Edge when they were on their attacking side, you can imagine that Arena Esports are doing the same and utilizing this next 30 seconds or so to just talk to the team instead of utilizing that tactical timeout. So, I mean, not a bad play to do. You might want to reset that mental because Altered Edge are creeping, you know? They're getting a little bit more control, winning rounds after round. You don't want to let that slip any longer.
I think that's just simply, you know, Altered Edge playing off each other on this defense there. You know, Rico, he was able to find 2, obviously, without contest, but that 3rd kill, he played off of his teammate getting killed there. So I think if they continue to do that, we're going to have a closer game here.
I mean, that's what we saw on our clubhouse game, right? It was a 4-2 split. In the end, the people who were on the rough side ended up getting closer and closer, and they took them to just 1 round away from being an even match point to potentially almost taking us overtime. So, I mean, Altered Edge could definitely be looking to do that. Hopefully we get to see it.
It's definitely in the books. It's not off the table at all. You know, this is Siege. I feel like it compared to other games, the rounds are, you know, their own separate games in a sense. If you win that round, or your enemy wins that round, there's always the next. And I think
Attackers have located
There's
a
no
bomb.
ecosystem in this game. There's nothing like that. It's all fresh. So I think Altered Edge, they definitely can come back here. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. And they're going to this bar gaming site. So, you know, not having the access to that Flores and whatnot on that attack is going to be a little bit harder to clear those shields if Altered Edge choose to play behind their utility and not sort of gift those picks. We see time and time again teams that just have all this util and they sort of just don't sit behind it. They don't waste that time. They don't run that clock. Instead, they get that confidence that slowly gets taken away from them when they realize that maybe I should have played behind that shield. Maybe I should have waited for them to flash me out and utilize their utility to clear me from these positions. But hopefully, Altered Edge, they got the right mindset and they play off of all this util that they have access to them. They even have a Valkyrie able to give them that intel. So I think if Altered Edge chooses to do that, we're going to see them win round 9.
Well, that'll definitely help you. It looks like a little bit of a different sort of approach at the moment, as majority of the players have found themselves on this Solar side now, trying to take a little bit of this trophy. The drone's going to be able to spot out the player of the Valkyrie as well, as he's been isolated off. He's going to be forced to go back to that dining, as the windows were already opened up on top of that west main, as well as trophy. He's not in a good position. So it was a smart play for Rico being able to rotate away, because, I mean, there was no way that you were able to live there at all.
No, and I think he didn't want to take the risk that maybe he found one and then gets traded out. He wants to run down that clock. So, good decision by him, and that was a smart move. You know, they lost 2 drones in the process with no capitalization, and now look, they have to drone that again, and they've done exactly that, but that's just added wasted time from Rico. So, I think that's really well played on his part. But Kongi, he's in dining. He's on that Dokkaebi, able to utilize that global util, but he's only got 1 call left. So I think they used it just earlier. So nothing to be capitalized on that call.
That definitely would have been one of the main reasons that Rico tried to rotate away. Those Dokkaebi calls are definitely scary as well. Look at them already trying to get control of this top blue now. King Malachi is able to connect the shots onto Zuve as well. Try to get a refrag back, but it's unknown just of yet. The kill will elude you. But Voon will find his kill back onto Kulu. Now that leaves it down to a 5v3 now. Arena not looking so hot at the moment, as it leaves it down to just Dynasty, Kongi, and Zethi to try and work the rest of the round. Altered Edge not letting anything slip up at the moment, with only River taking a little bit of punishment, as well as King Mal losing just a little bit of those HPs. They still got the library control though, and that's exactly where you like to sit as they try to gain control of that piano.
Yeah, I think Arena are a little bit too split right now, and they're not able to find the trades that Altered Edge are able to find when it comes down to it. But Voon able to find one, Rico able to find another, and it's all left to Density in a 1v5. He's always left in these clutch situations, but I think this is a bit too much to ask for. But he does shut down Voon, and I think he should just use this time to talk to his team like Zuve did. But 30 seconds on the clock, not a lot of time to talk it through. But Arena, they're slowly losing their grip on this game, and you know, they had such a good side on their defense, but attack, they're looking a little bit lost. They're looking a little bit rough. So hopefully going into this next round, they can find it. We see there the timeout requested. They definitely want more time to talk. Density just padding those stats and able to shut down Owen, and he's gonna let the time run down.
You are out of time.
I mean, it looks like my prediction was right. I mean, Chalet being defender-sided, which is what we guessed, Altered Edge on their flip-up, they're able to get that defense, and it's going to reign true that this is a defender-sided map. Their Arena's defense, you can see they were able to win their very first 3, traded out by the attack of 1 on the side of Altered Edge. Completely immediate rechange, as Arena was able to secure themselves another, but it was just a trade just by a little while. You can see just in the middle there. But now that we've switched over to our second half, you can see that Arena were able to secure that first round, which is, you know, bravo. That was really good. They slipped up in that basement defense, but now it's just over and over again. Altered Edge winning out their defense, and now we find themselves yet again for the second time today, KJ, 1 round separating.
Yeah, close games. Maybe that's going to be the trend for the rest of today. And you know, we do like to see it. I love a good close game. Seeing such dominant games is, you know, it's good and all for the team that's winning it, but we want that excitement. We want to see you put up a fight, and that's exactly what Altered Edge is doing here. And Arena, they have had that time they have had that break. Hopefully they can gather themselves and stop Altered Edge from making that dream come true. But these last 2 rounds, I'd like to say that Altered Edge won them pretty comfortably. And even that basement that they lost, it did come down to that 2v2. So it was a rather close round. So I'd say that Altered Edge, they're looking to even up things here and stop Arena from securing that match point. And we do go to that kitchen dining. So let's see how Arena chooses to push this side.
I mean, they defended it beautifully when it was their turn to defend it. Now we get to see how Altered Edge can defend the kitchen side against Arena Esports. Wow, they're not using that Tachanka that we got to see being used over and over again by Zephy. Now we're on the flip side. We decided to bring the Frost instead. Now, I'm not seeing any denial coming out from Altered Edge. You know, there's no smoke. There's no Goyo. There's no Tachanka.
Yeah, there's only really the C4s from Valkyrie and Mute able to sort of deny any plan, of course, unless you swing them and shoot them with your gun. That's always in the...
It is Siege. All it needs is a bullet.
You know, in terms of denial, without the guns, they've only got those 2 C4s, and if those players are to fall, then they have nothing. But it looks like a library push coming out from Arena, a rather strong library push, as I'm pretty sure all members are on this side of the map. Maybe one going that K9 balcony by the looks of it. But Rico, he's looking to deny any intel coming into this game and shut down any sort of below push. And we saw him sort of shut down the intel from Arena last time rather well and then fall off. And I think if he does that exactly again, it's going to be a real pain for Arena. But it looks like he's already rotated away with no drones taken out just yet. I'm pretty sure by the looks of it, Arena, they have all of their drones available. All 10 drones.
I mean, that's so much intel to be used as well. You've even got the IQ to help you clear out some of those black eye cameras that Riku has got. You can see the ping is coming out as well, already spotting out some of those infos. So, I mean, they've got the right amount of util to use already. They've already got control of this Mez as well. You can imagine that they're trying to clear up some of this vert now. As you can see, Thermites, he's already jumping into Mez to try and open up those office walls to clear up some of those avenues to potentially make it easier for your bottom frags.
Yeah, and they've already got that top wall open, so they're going to start to try and open up that dining wall as well. Owen, though, able to shut down Zethy, and that's just the fear off the board, so no lifelines or stuns going to come out there to sort of push out that play on that shield, maybe in Piano or anyone in sight. But C4 to come out from Owen, but nothing to connect of that, and he's going to play close breach, so if anyone swings that, they're going to be wary of that shotgun real close by. But River, he's going to rotate up solo, maybe try and pressure up those players above, but Kongi able to shut down that Frost, so back to that 4v4.
Oh, it looks like he knows that he's close breach as well, but the shotgun is way too strong to swing it like that as well. But Arena will find themselves 2 kills as Kulu and Kongi will capitalize on both Owen and Voon and leave it back down to a 3v2 now, as River and Rico need to work themselves back to the side as they are just a little bit off at the moment, trying to hold these long angles against the attack of Arena Esports. Now Arena is going to do a little bit of that drone work to try and clear out the site, make sure it's all good for them to try and plant behind that chassis as well, and that's what it looks like Kulu's ready to do. He's worked his way up onto that kitchen short.
And yeah, they still have the C4 from Valkyrie. So if she's able to stay alive, definitely can shut down that plan. And looking to do exactly that. The C4 goes out, able to shut down Density. But are they aware of the solar push? No, Kulo, he goes to swing. But River and Rico, they're too strong holding it down. And I think that was a good frag finding that solar player. So really well done. Altered Edge.
A good read by Riku as well. I mean, he was the very first person to be spotted out by Altered Edge as well. He managed to keep himself alive that entire round to utilize that C4, which was detrimental to winning that round altogether. Stopping that plant, it was behind the chassis. You're able to throw that just so far and not enough to, you know, expose yourself to the second swing of Kitchen Short, and in the end the positioning from both of these players was just so superior, and that'll tag it up now to an even 5-5 between Arena and Altered. So this is now a reset. Now there is nothing more mentally resetting than an even score count between 5-5. I mean, every single time you hit that even score count, you're like, damn, we're back to square one. Now this is anybody's game now. It's a complete reset.
It has, but the thing is, the scoreline, it is 5-5. So whoever wins this round in round 11, that's that match point. That secures your overtime, so you secure at least that, but I'd imagine that whoever secures that overtime does not want, that match point does not want to go into that overtime. And Altered Edge, they're on the train, with these rounds. They don't want to stop that train. They want to win this next round. They want to get to that match point. So hopefully they can do it.
5 seconds left. Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and
Well,
defuse it.
I'm excited to see how this rounds. You can imagine that the pressure from both of these teams is quite spiked high at the moment, as we've on the upstairs defense now. You're doing a traditional push from that library, of course. Interesting to see a sense, though. We haven't seen a sense very often at all, really.
Oh, but Sense utilizing that gun and has an ACOG on it and shooting Malachi through that soft wall, almost taking him out, but he is about on that 40 HP. So he is alive for now, but yeah, like you said, we don't see a lot of Sense, but we've seen, in our ranked games and whatnot, used here and there. I do believe you utilize it in on a certain map, and you're able to sort of take some interesting control off of those smoke lines of sight. So if Kulo can utilize that, it might be able to help on the execute map, might be able to help on taking out those positions of Altered Edge. You never know how Kulo is going to use it, but I feel like it's underrated. It definitely is situational, but if you use it right, it is very powerful.
Well, look at the positioning of Voon. He's popped himself nicely on this dungeon as well. Zuve to find a nice frag grenade to remove King Mal, and that's your Warden finally getting collected up as well. They do have a drone right there. I don't know if he's aware of the position. It looks like he is. Let's do a pre-fire as well. Voon taking a huge hit HP, but he will win in the end and even it back up to a 4-4 now as he's able to rotate it down through that wine cellar, being uncontested as well. That's a nice little pick to bring things up, but look at his HP. He is quite low.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with the engagements that he takes, but interesting though. Malachi was the one to fall for the side of the defense, and he's the only one that can see through that smoke of Kulo's Sense. So if they choose to smoke up the side and go for a plant, they can only sort of guess where they are, unless they have those Valkyrie camps in those positions to help them do so. They do have the smoke, so they still have denial. They do have that C4 from the Valkyrie, so if they do go for that plant, there is those options and avenues that they can use to shut down that plant. But Kulo, he's in piano looking to get active here, but he's got to be careful of that swing from Voon, and he is that low HP, but a headshot will do it either way. And now, Arena, they're in that 4v3. We've seen them be in this position before, and then Altered Edge all of a sudden able to hold it down, but Density, he looks to push in, and he's able to find the frag in the head of Owen. I'd imagine they want to go for this plant very, very shortly, and it's all left to Rico and River. Rico finds the first. Can they find another to even up the man count? No, Kulo able to find Rico, and it's all left to River. But,
He finds one.
he got his one. He got his one.
He's one. Yeah, he did everything he could.
That'll
be round 12.
Scary, though.
I mean, that was definitely scary for the side of both of the teams. I mean, I didn't see it swinging that way at all, but they do secure their match point now. Arena, thankfully. Now, it has been quite rough recently for Arena. They haven't been able to win as many rounds, with Altered Edge finding their footing and their grip in the match so far, and they've won themselves round after round. But thankfully, Arena will find themselves another round, and maybe that will be the mental resetter for them for potentially taking us to what could be our last round. Maybe Altered Edge aren't looking to let us slip either. I mean, they could take us the full distance.
Yeah, well, Arena, they were cursed for a little bit. They allowed Altered Edge to come back from that broken scoreline at the first half, but now they've found the important round to win. They've secured that match point. Can they secure the dub here and find all 3 points? Or are we going to go to that overtime if Altered Edge are able to clutch and win this round? It's all up to them.
I'm wondering how they can defend this library. I mean, we've seen time and time again how quick both of these teams are getting at this library control. They're so confident. They need to slow them down just that little bit. Now, it definitely is a little bit harder with Thatcher being open. you're able to Thatcher that display hall easily as well. So hiding behind that deployable shield that you always have at the top of blue isn't something that is really doable.
No, and I think I'm liking this pick from Kilo. He played the Sense last round. Now he's playing the Ying, so we might see a fast execute or a little bit of a rush. Who knows? I guess we're about to find out.
Oh, man,
but
what a way that would be to end it, right?
It would definitely be something that could tilt you or break it. You know, it either works or it doesn't. It's a risk that you take, but for the most part, for now, it doesn't look like a rush is coming in. But they are making quick control of that dining trophy side, and River's going to fall back, not wanting to gift any picks. They are that one round down, and if they lose this round, that's GG. So if it's any time to play safe, it's probably this round right here.
I like the fast control that's coming out from Arena. You know, they immediately got control of that dining as well. They already made them way up solar as well. There's somebody adding some of that pressure as well onto that display hall. It's going to make it hard for River. He's already popped up there as well. The Alibi has decided to hold Mez. Maybe they can make it just that little bit easier.
Yeah, but we are already 1 minute into the round, and they're going to start to try and clear this shield top blue. They do have the nades. They do have things to clear it, but the nades go out. The Ying Candelas are going to help with that as well, and they might be able to just execute straight off of that and jump in, but for now, they're just waiting, laying in wait to see if anyone is going to swing them. The nade does to go out. It does find River, but Voon, he's getting droned out as well, so he's going to be careful of his position. Otherwise, he will find himself being dropped down as well. But Kilo, he still has 2 Candelas in play.
Arena aren't playing at the moment. All of the intel, the live droning is just super strong as well. Utilizing these Candelas to create space for your team is just ever so strong now. Unfortunately, Malachi is able to find him through as well as he turns himself back up to those blue stairs as well. So they're going to try and trade it back as he finds the likes of Voon and leaves it down to an even 3-3 for both of these teams now. They're looking both quite strong. And we've only got 50 seconds left to do so on the board as well. So You've got time to work with, but not too much, considering you've got these smoke canisters yet to deal with. The C4 that's still in Rico's pocket, and he's got that dining control as well, but he manages to fall. The main door play from Zethi is able to capitalize on that and leave it down to a 3v2 now as the execute comes it away. Owen's able to find a kill onto Zube, take it down to a 2v2 now. As the try and smokes to try and delay that inevitable fireplace push. He's able to recollect that canister up as got a little bit of this blue presence now. They know that he's playing this blue. He doesn't want him to take that kitchen hall just yet. But he's rotated nicely as well. But he's imaginally going to get taken off as Dynasty finds ahead of King Malachi. And that leaves it all alone in a 1v1 now as Owen manages to find ahead of Zethi. And you've got 7 seconds left to do the thing. Hold it down safely. Doesn't it push? But no! Dynasty! It was close. It was close, KJ. It was close.
It came down to that 1v1, but Arena, the underdogs, they find the win, and they do it once again. Elijah, a 7-5, so 2 back-to-back 7-5s for the first 2 games. Is that going to be the trend for today?
I mean, we are